about to lose my shit.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office with a severe weather live coverage stream on the large hail threat that's taking place across the Ozarks today with some damaging winds that we're also looking at. We could be looking at some wind gusts over 60 to almost 70 miles an hour with a risk for some very large hailstones exceeding 2+ inches in diameter in many of these areas. Now, the good thing about all of this is there is 0% chances of tornadoes today. But you know what? Why not say that there's at least a 1% chance of tornadoes, because you just cannot just trust the percentages there from the SPC. Yes, trust the SPC, but of course, when there's severe weather, there's always that non-zero chance that there could be a funnel cloud or two across the Tennessee Valley, into western Kentucky, into northern Mississippi. Let's take a look at our latest outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. And as you can see, there is that slight risk for severe weather today across much of the Ozarks, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi. And this is why we're live streaming, because I thought, you know what? No one's going to be live streaming on this today anyways. Let's take the advantage of the low competition and let's see what we can get out of this. And so what we do have right now is that slight risk for severe weather spreading across Nashville, Memphis, Tennessee. If you're in Jackson, Mississippi, if you're in central Alabama like Birmingham, Atlanta, Georgia, you know who you are. You're under the slight risk for severe weather today. And then, of course, for southeastern Missouri, under another threat. And I don't know what is wrong with the Ozarks this year. I don't know. You guys probably know more than me. This has been the ground zero area. Like literally, I mean, ever since middle of March, we just been getting hit, you all there, in Tennessee, in Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia with severe weather this year. And you know the drill. You really do. At this point, slight risk means business, right? And when you take a look now at our risk for tornadoes, now there's a very low chance. There's no tornado chance today. Now there was a small smidged 2% there yesterday morning until they did their update and then they removed it. I'm like, whoa, okay, good news. That's even better news, because that means there's a very, 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 very low chance that you do see a tornado today. But again, please take this with a grain of salt. This is just model guidance based that the SPC uses, and they say less than 2%, but they never say there's a less than 1% in many areas. There's that 1%. There's that non-zero chance that you do see a tornado today in these areas, okay? And just make sure you're weather aware. Now, there is a risk for damaging winds today. In fact, oh my goodness, my allergies today. There is a 15% risk for damaging winds today with wind gusts between about 55 to 65 miles an hour, maybe locally stronger in some of the most intense storms, because we're going to get a lot of cold pooling. We got a lot of evaporative cooling. These storms are high based, so what we're going to get out of these is some damaging winds in these areas in the slight risk. So make sure you are prepared for some downed trees and power lines, maybe some power outages, that sort of thing. Now, some of you might see power flashes today. Don't think that's a tornado, all right? Power flashes happen even during very strong non-thunderstorm wind events. It's just that, well, if it doesn't happen at night, you don't see the power flashes, right? If it happens at night, you tend to see that. Now, the risk for hail today is 15% as well. So really a hail and wind driven slight risk today. And wind is more significant than hail in itself, right? Because it can blow down trees, power lines, and lead to property damage. Hail too, if it gets big enough. But, you don't, everywhere in the slight risk, you don't see 2+ inch hailstones, right? It's very isolated with some of the most intense storms versus damaging winds. You're going to find that with more scattered storms than anything else. So that's why wind is more of an impact than hail in itself. Even so, hail, you can get some big stones out of that. And that covers again for Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama into Georgia for today. Thought this would go enhanced though, but now looking at the past model data, it's not going to go enhanced today, which is good. That's a good thing because I'll tell you, I don't have time today to stream for 10 hours. I only have about another hour and a half to do this for you all, just to get some content out there for you all today. So looking at the forecast radar here, for this afternoon, you can see storms are going to be popping up across northern Mississippi, northern Alabama this afternoon because of surface heating. As we warm up the surface, we destabilize things because there is a lot of cold air aloft above the surface. And that colder air, what does it want to do? It wants to sink and mix with the warmer environment down below. Oh, that's how you get instability, especially when you lift that moisture up to higher depths in the atmosphere. You get condensation, you get these thunderstorms that develop, and then the ending result is that there is going to be some large hail with some of these storms. And you can see here, really not developing into a linear MCS until mainly this evening. Across Georgia, you can see this line rolling on through. Now, the good thing about this, man, my allergies today. Allergies are really bad in my neck of the woods. And you can see this line here. This is going to contain about 65 mile an hour wind gusts. And this is moving really fast, by the way. This is not a slow mover. This thing is hauling at about 60 to 70 or about 50 to 60 miles an hour. So it's going to be moving through really quickly. And in fact, many areas will be woken up and realize, where did our severe weather go? It's really going to be in and it's going to be out of here. If I could pick any severe weather day, I would rather pick today. Because today, for one thing, no tornado risk. And two, these are moving fast storms. These are not moving slow. There's not much discrete activity once upscale growth occurs, which is a good thing because in some areas, the storms may only last about 30 to 45 minutes and they're done. That's it. That's your cold front. That's your storm that you're getting. And then by tomorrow, you might get more thunderstorms developing. But of course, with air mass thunderstorms, these are like your pop-up storms. They pop up and then they die out. I don't think there's going to be a risk at all for severe weather tomorrow at all for the same areas. And then by the time we go all the way into Saturday morning, looks pretty good overall. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with right now in terms of who's going to get severe weather and who is not. Right now, let's get right over to our live Doppler radar because this is where we do have some severe weather going on right now. Southeast of Chesterfield of the radar site, we do have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings here. Let me go to Radar Omega. Actually, I forgot to reset my counter here. So let's put 5 just because pretty much we were talking more. And we did have one considerable warning earlier. So I'm going to put in number 1 and no destructive warning yet. So that's 0. Our tornado numbers are 0 right now, so we're just going to put 0 on all of these. There we go. So that way now it's all updated to the very latest information. So, how's everybody doing? Welcome. What's up, the R? What's up, Dirge? What's up, Erica? What's up, Brent? How are you all doing? What's up, Beth Cave Spider 2? How are you doing? Okay. Nightbot is not working. So, yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on the severe weather today for sure. What's up, Dayan? How are you doing? So we are keeping an eye on severe weather today. Again, not a really big day at all, but, you know, competition out there. You got to get this out. You know, I'm the only one streaming this anyways right now, so that's why I thought, you know what? This is my advantage to go live and get some coverage on these storms with live cameras and everything. So in Cartersville right now in southeastern Missouri, we have another severe thunderstorm warning. This is for 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail. This is moving right over towards the Dyersburg camera that we have on screen right now. So it's going to be the bottom camera. Well, not on this scene, but there is a live camera. Let's actually go over to that right now, and you can see there's the live, not the live camera. There it is. And I forgot to change the city names, so the city names are incorrect on these cameras. In fact, I'm just going to take them away. I did not have time to put this in today, so if you guys ask me where are these cameras at, I will let you know exactly where they're at. Right now, the bottommost camera is closest to that severe thunderstorm warning, so we will be able to give you some pretty good, awesome hail footage on live stream since that storm is going to hold together and it moves into the Dyersburg area. What's up, Dark Steve? How are you doing? So yeah, Cartersville right now in southeastern Missouri does have that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's take a look at another severe thunderstorm warning that's happening in Crossville right now, where we do have some showers and storms. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail is anticipated with that storm. This is to the southeast of Fairfield in Illinois. So we got an Illinois storm, and boy, look at the winds as this cold front rolls through. Gusts up to 55 miles an hour. So these winds are really strong as this cooler air moves in. Let's take a look at the storms up here. Hey, this is really a low wind warning by all means. This is not even warranted for 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's mainly for hail, quarter-size hail. I call it a California storm. Really, we see those all the time in California these days. New Canton, under that severe thunderstorm warning. Camp Point, also a California storm there. I'm seeing up to 1-inch hail and winds nearing 50 miles an hour, which is on the damaging side by all means. Hey, there's a live radar right here. You can see some of the storms. Man, if I won $1 million, I would purchase a live Doppler radar. I would literally purchase a live Doppler radar. That would be really cool to actually have. So there it is, and you can see the outflow boundary. So a lot of cold pooling is going to be the theme today. You can see the boundary right in here. See that boundary? That's a cold pool of what we're seeing. And that means storms are just not very organized enough to generate some large hail. But look at how fast these are moving. Really moving fast. Just scraping at speeds that are pretty darn fast. This is moving at to the southeast at 40 to 50 miles an hour. So this is on the move pretty quickly as this moves from the northwest to the southeast. And so areas like in Waterloo, Red Bud, man, I need to sneeze. There we go. I'm fine. Just a bit of a sneeze today. What's up, Titan? I need to figure out why my Nightbot's not working. Trying something new here on the channel to invite an automated bot, but it's not working for some reason. So, I'll have to be the Nightbot. So, no, not really. So for Waterloo downstream, that's where you do have that severe thunderstorm warning. And then, of course, right here is where we have a good complex of storms with the strongest winds right now. And we have a special weather statement here. Nothing in the way of a warning, but this has 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And that's what we've been getting at the airport. Also, speaking of severe weather, we're live here on the YouTube channel covering severe weather for a little while here on the channel as it breaks out across Illinois. Most of this is in Illinois, but we do have one lonely storm down here in the Carterville area right now. And this is warranted right now for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And again, the very bottom camera that you looked at earlier is in direct line of fire on this storm. And so we will see if we actually get anything on camera with these storms today. Because, hey, hints it, right? Live camera, live analysis here on the channel is what we look for. But yeah, this one in Carterville is pretty organized. Let's take a look at that at a closer radar site. Thank you, Christy in Ohio. Also, if you are interested in joining the Weather Force Discord server, it is a great server where you could interact with me. Yeah, you can see, if we scroll up, you can see having a great conversation with people yesterday. So if you are interested in joining the Weather Force Discord server, that would really mean a lot. I will approve your application, so you're just not going to be able to join right away. If you click the join button, you'll be greeted with an application. It takes only about a minute to answer. Once you have answered that, and I see that you put in your application, I will either deny it depending on age and other factors or approve it if you meet the TOS guidelines and everything. So if you want to join that server, there is a link in the chat. It is 100% free. There is no cost whatsoever to join Weather Force today. All right. It's my goal at providing you guys life-saving information, but also interact with the community off stream and all the time. Okay. So that's what that is. Now, of course, you can donate to me via Streamlabs. All right. You can PayPal me as well if you wish. Actually, do I even have my Streamlabs on here? Do I even have that? I don't think I do. Let's see if I can bring that up. Okay, so because Nightbot's not working, this is the PayPal. This is, oh, not that. That's not it. That's not it. This is it. Where did it go? There we go. This is the link right here where you can donate. Instead of doing Super Chat, where YouTube takes a little partition out, on Streamlabs, I get all of it, which is great. So I'm going to start doing that more instead of just doing the whole YouTube, because, you know, they take a partition out. They actually do. So, which sucks. It really does. But you know what? That's perfectly fine, because we have other ways we can do this. So that's where we have our storm. Half-inch hail marker on that. So that's really, I don't think it's even producing quarter-size hail. I would be surprised if it actually is. But yeah, if you're in Dyersburg, you're going to want to take shelter. That's where we do have that severe thunderstorm warning at this point. And guess what? These areas have gotten too much rain already, and you're seeing more rain, believe it or not. So that's going to be the issue here. More rain, more storms. And that's just troubling for a lot of you that have been dealing with historic flooding down here. You're getting hit again with more of these storms. And yeah, this is kind of training. These storms are just kind of popping up. So some of your or in certain areas, you've already had about a quarter of an inch, maybe a half an inch of rain in the matter of like maybe 15 or 20 minutes. So that's going to lead to some flash flooding concerns in some of these storms, along to go with high winds and some large hail. Now, also another thing I want to share with you all is be sure to check me out on TikTok as well. Literally uploaded 2 pieces of content there yesterday, so I've been amping that up. I've been listening to your guys' recommendations, and it actually has been working nicely. Already up to 301 members, or not members, and I'm used to saying members already, that it's second nature. Already up to 302 followers. You can see just got new followers just recently, so if you guys want to check me out on there, which by the way, my last video yesterday, 3,330 views, which is great. Be sure to check me out there. It's a really, really good TikTok page. Yes, a lot of this is all random of me, but believe me, now going forward, we're going to be doing forecasts like this. Let's actually click on this. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk of severe weather across much of the Ozarks for your Thursday. All severe hazards are expected across the Ozarks, especially west. Which, by the way, there's your little 2% risk for tornadoes. That's not there anymore. Western Tennessee, including the risk for a 2% of tornadoes. Which, by the way, I'm going to ask you all this. How do you all like the layout, the new editing format that I'm using? On my recent video, actually, well, especially my last video. How do you all like the editing on that? Let me know, please. Because boy, that took me 4.5 hours to do yesterday, to add in the sounds, to add in everything. It was not easy. It really wasn't. That was pretty, I mean, I started working on that at 11 in the morning and did not have it out until, did not get done working on it until like 2:30. So it took me a while. Buffering on my end. So some of you are having buffering problems. Interesting. What do you guys think about the captions, though? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. The captions. Why do you not like the captions? Or why are you 50-50 on that? Beneath Cave Spider 2. New meso discussion. Well, that means we got to go and look at our new meso discussion. Let's go on over to there. By the way, our Mississippi cameras, let's go. Let's work. Let's work. Let's work. Here we go. So here is our latest meso discussion. Let's go on to the next one. There's no graphic available. But wow, 441 meso discussions since January 1st, since the start of the new year. And there's another additional watch that will be needed. We've yet to wait for the graphic to pop up here, which is why I don't like these meso discussions sometimes, because literally, yeah, we don't have the latest graphic out. But this is this is 440. That's what we have now as a severe thunderstorm watch. You can see that cold front there. And I mean, you don't see that very often. EF0 tornado. Well, there's actually no tornado risk at all on this. So up to 70 mile an hour winds and hail risk up to even 1 3/4 inches. That's not even giant. I'm really surprised though. The hail threat is not really the biggest factor, probably because of the elevated nature of these storms. Storms are really elevated. But I'll tell you right now, watch likely surface analysis does show a boundary wind shift moving south across Arkansas toward the Mississippi River. Ahead of this boundary, west-southwest winds are helping to maintain a plume of mid-50 dew points, which now extend into Alabama. Meanwhile, strong heating continues. The southerly periphery of the mid-level cooling is evident on visible imagery indicated by the CDU fields from northeast Arkansas into Tennessee. As this cooling aloft rapidly pushes southeast, corridors of thunderstorm development are expected. This combination of strong cooling aloft overspreading the surface theta E plume should result in corridors of severe storms. Long photographs, cold temperatures aloft, and favorable time of day, daytime heating coincident with peak heating will favor both large hail and localized wind damage. Isolated significant hail cannot be ruled out with the stronger cells. So that's what we're looking at here. And then, again, an additional watch is needed. And you can see there it is. Our latest meso discussion, our latest MD discussion has been put out. And yeah, right here, we're looking at 2.5-inch hailstones. So this is where we're looking at more significant hail within the central northern Alabama, central northern Mississippi area. And on top of that, we are looking at 80 up to 80 mile an hour wind gusts. All right, so that is significant wind damage that is anticipated with some of the stronger storms that we're looking at. All right, so that is going to be the primary concern today, is with this meso discussion, is the risk. And you can see the surface theta E axis is kind of spread about here. So as this cooler air overspreads that area, that's where we have pretty good instability, up to about 1,000 joules of mixed layer CAPE, and that's going to lead to more significant storm development this afternoon. Not right now, but this afternoon. Yeah, it does sound like an enhanced risk. That's why I was kind of borderline on that. So maybe put them on the bottom of the screen. All right. So that's what I will probably end up doing in my future videos, is probably put them on the bottom. The reason why I don't put them on the bottom, and let's go to CapCut, because I have my project there from yesterday. That's why today, there's not a whole lot going on, so we can be a little bit more flexible. So this is pretty much why. This is why I put my, where is it? So, is because if I put my captions, let's move this forward. Let's actually click on this. So if we put this down here, what is it going to be blocking? Right? It's going to be blocking other important areas, not just there, but yeah, you could see, look at how this is deformationed. Actually, you know what? Can we scoot that down? Oh, we can. Okay, so we can scoot this actually down below that. There we go. That works a lot better. But you can still see, oops. So that's why I put it down here, because, or I put it up here because it doesn't block anything, right? So that this is dependent, but I'm glad you guys rather have it on the bottom. I'm surprised because I don't want it to block anything, you know. And I'm probably going to use this style of this. Which, by the way, how do you guys like the overlays too? That I used Adobe Stock to actually do that. I even realize that my subtitle, or this is actually covering some of my subtitles just a little bit. And the sound effects and everything. Yeah, this all took right here. You can see all the elements that were needed. Took me a while to edit this. This was not easy to edit. And you can see also the red lettering would impact my subtitle as well. So that's why I put things where I put them, not just to make it harder for anyone, just to keep things organized, you know. So that's why I do that in specific terms, because it makes it easier to look at. Resolution rapid refresh model. It's a meso model that many forecasters use. And this is a new program, so I'm just kind of getting new to this. But that's basically that right there. Probably better than, what is it called, Movavi? Because I can't even add subtitles automatically. Because I always wanted, as some people have been asking me, hey, we're like way in the past, like, are you going to add subtitles? And I'm like, I don't know how. It's going to take forever, because on YouTube it takes forever. You got to type them up when you when you upload the video and it asks you, do you want to add subtitles? Oh my gosh. It takes days and days to type that up. So now CapCut actually has AI-based features in it to where all I have to do is press a button and it generates the subtitles. I could pick my own style and template that I could use, and boy, does it go a long way. It really does. Thank you, the R. So yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. Welcome. We are tracking severe weather live. Now, for those that are watching, not many of you because it's not really an active day, I am going to be releasing, in hopes, depending on how the next couple of weeks goes, we'll be releasing my first preliminary Atlantic hurricane season 2025 forecast for you all. A lot of you guys like my tropical updates. And then following that, in the middle of May, probably the first couple of weeks of May, I'll have to figure things out. I'm actually going to do training hurricane missions into hurricanes. Or just, those training missions that NHC does. I'll be doing a couple of those probably in May, and then another couple probably in July or probably in June. So 2 will be low-level drop zone missions, and the other 2 will be upper-level drop zone missions that I will be conducting. and I thought maybe some of you would be interested in watching me do that. I'll probably do that for members only, though, just for the sake of it. I got to start putting some effort into my members-only content as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, become a member today. It's pretty awesome. So, yeah. Got another couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Actually, there's a camera right here. Yeah, we actually got a live camera. I'll tell you, that's hail. It's hailing there. Definitely some hail coming down. There is no tornadoes. These are rather high base storms. This actually reminds me of more like California Central Valley storms. Really, I mean, actually, if we go to satellite imagery, we could see that. We could literally see this very, very Central Valley-ish, cold core-ish, however you want to call it. As we go and look at that right here, you can see really all purely done by surface heating. See, you can kind of get an idea. This is going to be more longevity organized because of it's part of that low, but like stuff behind it is more kind of pulsating storms. Really has that look, doesn't it? Like California storms, more kind of short, not really short-lived, but you know, not really like a high risk or a moderate risk or an enhanced risk. More definitely an elevated risk for storms nonetheless, though. And that's what that is. Oh, yeah, look at this storm right here. That's how it looks like. Man, that's dark. Pretty dang dark. And we got a storm right here on camera. Let's actually go to our live cameras. There we go. So, the bottommost camera is the Dyersburg. That's Dyersburg right now, and that's getting that storm. And you can tell in nature, this is very elevated. Like, I mean, really high based, really not low based at all, or surface based. And so that's why it's mainly a hail threat. Which, by the way, your dew points in this area are in the upper 30s to lower 40s. So that is as unfavorable for tornadoes that you can possibly get. In fact, this sky looks very much like Arizona, like New Mexico. Desert-looking sky, high base convection, monsoonal-like. It just doesn't look very classic. And that is why you're seeing a huge struggle. Well, you're not going to see much. You're not going to see any rotation with any of these storms. It's just not. Actually, there is some rotation here, but that's really high base. That's like, actually, you know what? Yeah, that is mainly high based. It is trying to get its supercell look together, though, but just not going to develop anything. Don't expect any tornadoes today. If you do, it's a brief funnel cloud. It's going to just be brief, and it's going to lift right back up. Geez, Jersey Bob. It's pretty hot. It's pretty warm. Looks like our camera there went out, so we're going to have to switch another camera. Here's a good one that we will be using. But how's everyone's day going? If you guys are new to the stream, please be sure to share this and hit that like button. We're up to 51 likes, so that's pretty decent. If you guys can get me up to 100 likes within the next 18 minutes, that would really make me happy. That would really make me more happier than not. Looks like there's a little funnel cloud or something there on camera. I don't know if that's a funnel cloud or if that's just the way the cloud structure actually is. That's a nice looking little base right there. Yeah, you can see how much rain has fallen in this area. Like a little pond in the field there. What's up, Georgia Smith? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome aboard. So that's a storm that is quite close to that. That camera's really close to that storm. The majority of our cameras are here, and this got severe warned. Kind of thought it would. It is warranted for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That storm really, camera really taking a beating on that right now. But your dew point is awfully low. I mean, it is not really high at all in this area. So yeah, Dyersburg getting hit pretty good right now with that storm. And this is moving to the southeast at around 45 miles an hour. So these storms are moving pretty quick from northwest to southeast. Jackson, 78 degrees right now. Dew point there in the low 40s. Next camera's in view of this storm is going to be Haywood. Right now, Haywood probably not even know that a storm's coming. It's all nice and sunny there. Beautiful day, but not going to be so beautiful here in a little while. Crockett, though, there's what we're looking at, our storm in the distance. It does not look very surface-based at all, very high-based. So there may be some rotation, but it's not going to really be anything in the way of a tornado at this moment. Camera's really blurry, though. But yeah, you can see that storm, and it's looking directly at our Dyersburg storm right now. You can see some billowing up convection there, and then here's more. Here's another view of the storm, and you can see kind of how dark it is there. But yeah, to look at the conditions right now, that's the three-way Tennessee, Madison County camera, and this is looking at that storm. And you can see just how dark it is there. Pretty neat looking storm though in the distance, but no rotation at all. And that dew point is awfully low. Yeah, okay, that's one of the cameras. Yeah, look at your dew points here. In the upper 30s, that's ridiculous. That's really dry. Yeah, look at this. Dew point of 30 degrees. Your relative humidity, only about 30%. So that's pretty dry. That's going to really allow for some good momentum transport with evaporative cooling. It really is. But yeah, you can see that storm yet again. See the rain coming down, some hail out of that. Not seeing any lightning yet. That's probably because it's pretty far away from the camera. This is all coming right towards the camera. So if you're in Murray City, if you're in Friendship, if you're in the Beech Grove, yeah, this is in Tennessee. Please take shelter because this is going to have that large hail, that quarter-size hail with it. Maybe even locally larger. But now let's take a look at these storms. Ooh, there's a camera right in line with that. Oh, yeah, look at how stormy how nasty this storm is. Really, really dumping there pretty good. Look at your temperature. Temperature's just plummeting right now. Boom. It's rock falling. It's falling like a rock. And that storm, by the way, that has really, really heavy. And this storm right now is in Tennessee. Southern Tennessee. 76 decibels. So that's producing some big hail. That's a big hailer right there. Based on what we're seeing. And you can see off to the left side of the screen, it's where you have the darker skies. And that storm is right there. Strange enough, this is not a considerable warning by any means. This is for 1-inch hail. Let me update my warning because I forgot to do that. Probably up to like 7 warnings. I'm not really keeping track today. But there is definitely a severe thunderstorm warning there. And we got more storms popping up here in the Tennessee area. Let's go over to these cameras and let's see with what we got here. Putnam. Yeah, see, these are more lower. These bases look a bit more lower than high-based. And it makes sense your dew points are actually higher here. And you can see the bottoms of that. Those cloud bottoms are pretty low. Yeah, so that's what we have. Lots of storms going on right now in the Tennessee area at this given time. Lots of storms. And these are approaching Jefferson City here in the next hour or so, actually. But yeah, this is the storm that we got to watch. And then let's go back up here to the St. Louis area. That's where we have some storms still continuing on at this time. Hail is about an inch or less, so kind of on a severe-ish warning side. Mainly for wind damage is what we're seeing with that storm. And then we have other storms now moving into Indiana. These are clustering up now. Lots of a nice good storm cluster is occurring with that. And as we play this through, you can really see that storms are approaching the Evansville all the way into Madisonville in Kentucky. And these are going to have a lot of lightning with them. And, of course, maybe some quarter-size hail with those storms. It's really the extent of that trying to grow upscale a little bit, looks like. It's doing its little upscale growth magic. By the way, again, if you guys are liking the content, if you're finding this very helpful, detailed, and informative, please, please, please give this a huge thumbs up. Please give this a huge thumbs up. We have 51 people that are watching this live stream, so if you guys are liking the content, hit the like button. Let's see if we can get this live stream to 100 likes within the next 8 minutes. We can do it in the next 8 minutes or so. There could be an EF0 tornado today. That's not out of the question. I wouldn't be surprised. That is a very slim possibility. Why would a camera be looking at a parking lot and it's a weather camera? Interesting. Actually, I forgot to share this live stream on social media. I better be doing that. There we go. So Morganfield, if you're in Evansville, if you're in Madisonville, Hopkinsville, Clarksville, that's where downstream you're going to need to be on the lookout for these severe storms. It's definitely some hail with this, some gusty winds, that's a given. And then, of course, over here in Evansville, we do have that storm that is approaching Murray City, Bells right now. Jackson in Tennessee, that is severe warned for 1 1/4 inch hail now. So hail size on this has increased a little bit. We're looking at $half size hail. $half size hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And you're looking at the storm right in front of you. That's what it looks like. Pretty dark. Pretty dark looking, ugly looking sky right now. But yeah, Brownsville, let's look at the Brownsville camera. Let's see what that looks. Oh, no, not that one. Let's get this one right here, Crockett. Yeah, this is what it looks like at a much closer shot. And you can see, turning the camera a little bit, but look at how high base this is. I mean, this is your base right here. And you got Virga, you got snow, you got hail falling underneath this. This is why you're getting kind of a just kind of a whole smeary looking sky. This is not really low base. This is really up there. And that's because of how dry the air is and how much mixing has occurred with these storms. Yeah, if these were surface-based, tornadoes would be a thing. Tornadoes would be a big issue with these storms. Probably a 2 or 5% risk for tornadoes would have been warranted today because of, one, how dry the air is. I mean, downstream environment here locally, downstream of the storm, you're ingesting dew points in the upper 30s. Upper 30s, that's really dry. That is, I mean, let's just put it this way. The dew point where I'm at right now is 56 degrees. So the dew point where I'm at is much higher than the dew point in Western Tennessee. I mean, you could literally argue enough that this is like Arizona. This is Arizona-ish type storms in the mixed bag of California because of the mode that we're looking at. It is really, really an interesting slight risk. By all means, you got elevated storms. Really elevated. I mean, high-based of that. So we do got a new severe thunderstorm warning that is now issued for Covington. This is in the Memphis, Tennessee area. Not Memphis. Yeah. Did I say that? Memphis. Yeah, I did say that. Right. Memphis, Tennessee, under that threat right now. And we're looking at some of the storms in the distance. Got some nice, good puffs going on this camera. And this is Millington, Tennessee. Let's get another camera in Arlington, Tennessee. And it looks like camera's out. Looks like our camera's not working. So there are two storms now that we're watching. And I mean, look at even behind these storms. Your dew points are low. But we did get a 61 mile an hour wind gust. A 61 mile an hour wind gust with a sustained wind of 46 miles an hour at the KHKA airport. Looks like that is going to be the Blytheville Municipal Airport, now reporting a 61 mile an hour wind gust. So because we have really dry air at the surface, so what you're getting, folks, what you're getting with these storms is you're getting a lot of evaporative cooling, okay? Basically, when you get a lot of drier air and you get rain that falls through that, lots of heat is being taken out of the atmosphere with that raindrop because the rain is cooler to begin with. And so you're basically absorbing, or the water's basically grabbing all the heat and taking it out of the atmosphere. So what you end up seeing is evaporative cooling downdrafts, cold pooling with these storms. And some of these cold pools can produce gusts, again, 60, maybe even 70 miles an hour, enough to really bring down trees, power lines, minor tornado-like damage, in other words. So that is a concern here. And you know what this reminds me of? My 2D weather simulation thing that I like to have fun with. You've seen me make downdrafts with that. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, Covington, downstream, Mason, Brighton. Please take shelter. That's where we have that storm right now. Man, it's nice still. It's nice in Brownsville, but won't be lasting too long. And there's that storm. Look how dark the sky looks. Look at that sky. Really, really dark. Really dark. Looks like it barely rained in Dyersburg based on road conditions. And downstream of this in Crockett, there's your base. Ooh, there's some lightning. Oh yeah, got some nice, good high base lightning going on. That looks actually pretty ominous looking. You can actually see the bottom of that cloud cover, and there is lightning going on with that right now. I don't know. They might do a last minute upgrade on that. Beneath Cave Spider 2. They might do that. For 15 sig for wind. But yeah, there is some lightning in that. There is definitely some discharge going on. Ooh, there's some lightning right there. That'd be a good chase day. Here comes some locally lower bases and some scuds. Look at that. It's probably more than likely where your gust front actually is. Really elevated gust front. Man, look at that lightning though. That lightning is pretty good, pretty beautiful. You can even see the rain and hail coming down here. You can just see the downbursts right in here. There's a lot of lightning going on though. That's definitely has a lot of electricity with it. Yeah, so if you are downstream of that storm, that looks like a lot of lightning means it's strengthening. And let's see what our echo tops are with that. Our echo tops don't look too significant, only up to about 35,000 feet. But there is a lot of lightning with that storm right now. By the way, if you guys find this live stream helpful, detailed, and informative, please give this a huge thumbs up and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps out a lot. It really does. Because I didn't have much time today to do much in the way of a video, that's why I'm kind of doing a live stream for you all. What's up, Oliver Springs? Not Oliver. What? Oh my gosh. Oliver Springs, not a person in the chat. Oliver Springs, Oak Ridge in Tennessee right now, getting some good storms. Some lightning with some of these right now. And these are headed pretty much towards Knoxville, Tennessee, where we do have a couple of cameras in that area. And dew points here are a little higher in the low 50s, so we have better moisture here for more lower based storms that develop. But over here in the western Tennessee is where we are seeing higher based storms. And look at how, man, this looks menacing right now. That storm right there looks nasty. Looks really nasty. Can't even see. Oh, yeah, you can see it right here, I think. That looks like that is it. Storm approaching camera. If we get much closer in, you can see the bottom of this thing. Look at how thick and dark that looks. I know this area cannot catch a break. It just can't. It really can't. Beneath Cave Spider 2, probably it's a tad bit more surface based. And here comes the wind right now. That wind is coming in. You can see the wind picking up. They might get a little lower. I wouldn't say really surface based. But that lightning is pretty intense. So that boy, we're up to 70 likes. If you guys have not liked the stream yet, please do so. We just got a new weather station wind gust report, still up to 61 miles an hour near that Blytheville area. Sustained winds of 38. So we are still getting some really strong winds with that storm right now. Not really windy there. But boy, Brownsville, Tennessee. Man, that is where things have changed. Look at, where did our blue sky go? I mean, our blue sky is gone. It's gone, gone, gone. Well, most of it at least. Weather is changing there quickly. Temperatures dropping, and that means storms are coming in. Storms are moving on in. Really see how dark it is in the distance, though. Really dark. So I got some rain going on our Crockett camera. Crockett camera getting some rain out of this. I did see the day 5. Actually, why did I not even show you all that? Or show you that? Let's actually go over there really quickly to the day 5 outlook. Honestly, that day 5, I would have probably not put a whole lot into that right now, but I can see why they put it a small slight risk. Which, by the way, this is probably going to be wind driven. I looked at all the photographs in this area, and there's not much curvature, not much directional shear. Certainly some speed shear, so mainly a hail and wind threat with that slight risk for day 5. For central and southern Ohio into northern Kentucky. And again, this has been the area, not as much as down here, but still, this whole area this year, this whole area down here has just been hit too hard with severe weather. Mainly over here, actually. But just this whole Midwest, Ozarks, upper Midwest, not really the high plains yet. Really not really any part of Dixie Alley has been semi-active. But it's been really over here that has been just getting a lot of the severe weather recently, over the last month. So the fact that we are seeing a slight risk here is something to take note of, and it is Monday. So I may be able to live stream on that. Just depends on when I get my, what day I work next week is going to be everything that negotiates on rather if I can and can't go live on Monday next week. But anyways, speaking of severe weather, I do have a very important announcement to share with you all. No, I'm not in a bad mood today. I'm in an actually good mood. So after thinking this over the last week since our last severe weather event, all right, I'm still considering that this year will be the last year of live streams on severe weather, live severe weather events. We'll see about that. I'll have to think on it a little bit more, and that's just because, actually, you know what? I'll see how things go. But hurricanes and winter storms are my top best, actually. What's up, the Reaper? Welcome to the stream, buddy. By the way, if you guys have not liked this stream yet, please do so. Literally, come on. We got 70 likes, folks. Hit that like button if you have not already. Because got some good weather cameras going on. We really do. Got some good rain there, it looks like. Truman looks good, though. Nothing much going on in Truman. Oh, yeah, Don Broyles, yes. Yeah, tornado season overall this year it's actually more active than it was last year. As far as our tornado numbers, we're ahead by at least 100 tornado reports. And you know how last year ended up being, right? We had 1,911 or 1,910 tornado reports. So the fact that we're even ahead of last year, 2024, is a big concern. I mean, if we stay ahead of schedule, who knows? Could we hit 2,000 tornado reports? We'll just have to wait and see. But I'll tell you, it has been a really, really active mid-March, late March, early April, and trying to grasp it into mid-April, but overall it looks like it's a lot calmer right now. Not as active, but still on the slightly active side. Oh yeah, we have at least until early June. Because my severe weather season on my YouTube channel runs through June 1st. It runs through June 1st. Then after June 1st, unless something really big pops up on the channel or in my neck or on my radar that really warrants a live stream, and unless there's nothing really to track in the tropics, I'd go live on severe weather still. But mainly my focus after once we get into June will be on the tropics. We'll do it again like we did the last couple of years, right? But yeah, mainly today's risk is really a large hail risk and a damaging wind risk. If you guys are just tuning in, this is our latest SPC outlook, our latest Storm Prediction Center outlook, and you can see right there, this just came out not long ago, we do have that slight risk. And you might think, oh, it's based on tornadoes. No, it's not actually. That's tornado chances. There's no highlighted area. Out of all 60%, we're in the lowest percentage. All right, so that is a good thing. There is a risk for tornadoes today, at least a 1%. In fact, I'm curious of what NATOcast is showing. Oh, not there. Actually, is this? They did not even do NATO casting. I mean, they didn't even make a NATO cast. That's how low our tornado risk is. Interesting. What Eric Webb said. Yikes! There's a cyclone. Man, there's a cyclone down there. And that would be a really big cyclone. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at. As far as our severe weather, let's look at our hail risk. There's your hail risk right there, and they did update this just now. Okay, this is updated not too long ago. So there's your hail risk, 15%, no sig probabilities today. And then, of course, there's your wind. So it's really a wind and hail-driven slight risk today and not a tornado risk. First time I think I could ever remember that there has not been a tornado risk with a slight risk in a while, at least in a year or so, which is nice to see because, hey, we can get without the tornadoes, right? I'd rather deal with hail and wind than tornadoes in itself because tornadoes kill people. They do kill people. You know what? I am deeply interested on that cyclone. We're going to go off topic here really quickly. I am very interested in looking at that cyclone. I think it's the halves A, isn't it? It's not. Maybe it's a halves B, right? The halves B is probably, or no, wait, it's the H wharf. Maybe the H wharf. Interesting. It is not there. Maybe it's a 06Z run. It's a 06Z run. Yeah, 865. Dare me not. 865 millibar system. But on this run, it's a lot weaker. So, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Because if that did happen, that would be a all-time record low hurricane or cyclone. That would be a 230 knot storm. So let's just put it this way. Knots to miles per hour. Let's round it up. 228 knots. That's 262 miles an hour. That is a Category 10 hurricane. No, it's not, actually. That is a super, super intense cyclone across in the Indian Ocean, southern Indian Ocean. That's like just absolutely wild, to say the least. That is really strong, actually. I am really surprised by that. Hey, that's like a Milton 2.0 right there. Your low-level winds are literally at 230 knots, which doesn't make sense. Your low-level winds tend to be stronger than the surface. That is a big cyclone, I'm telling you right now. That's what the Twitter whole thing about that was. That's right here. Yep, that is actually a 06Z run showing that actually. Hey, here's some more modest clouds. Hey, this is actually really good. I'm going to actually share this. Look at these more modest clouds. That is, I think, a few minutes ago. So this is just recently. Yeah, look at how nasty those, look at that. Those are some nice looking Momatis. Huge shout out does go to Tyler Photography for this. Really good. I love this. Be sure to, actually, you know what? I'm going to link his Twitter in the live chat for y'all to check out. That's his Twitter right there if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, that cyclone is, it is hypecastic crazy. That's what we're looking at. So that must be over here. Washington, Missouri, right? See if we got a camera over there. Okay, there's no camera up there. Darn it! I wanted to get get some actual footage of that. Those Momatis clouds are really, really, really good. But yeah, there's a storm in Brownsville. This is about to dump. Look how dark the sky is. Very dark looking sky. What's up, Mama Judah? How are you doing? I'm having a great day. Thank you for asking. I think, what do you guys think of this? I want to ask you guys your opinions on this. Instead of doing severe weather live streams next year, actually, well, yeah. What would you think if I covered cyclones in the Indian Ocean and Indonesia? I was kind of thinking, should I do it or should I not? You know, Australia names are not as hard as like Japanese names. I'm thinking about doing something like that. It's not going to be this year because cyclone season's almost over. But next year, I might amp things up. I might do that. We actually have a tornado warning. No way. We actually have a tornado warning. Yes, we do. We actually do have a tornado warning. Hey, what did I tell you guys? What did I tell you guys about the less than 2% risk? What did I tell you guys? We would get at least one today, I think. So that goes to show you that just because it's a less than 2% does not mean, oh, there's not going to be a tornado today. No. There's not going to be a tornado today. Just kidding. A lot of you guys in Somerville and Mackey, this is in southern Indiana, there is a tornado warning right now. And there is a little bit of rotation right here. You can see some of the velocities. This is in Baldwin Heights, Princeton in Indiana. So we got reds moving away from the radar. Oh, we are getting a new scan right now. Yeah, there is your rotation right there. And this is near the surface, so that's why they are putting out a tornado warning right here. So reds are away from the radar. Greens are toward the radar. This is where we have our little tight couplet. Douglas, Baldwin Heights, Princeton in Indiana. There is an area of rotation. I don't think it's there's nothing on the ground right now. Oh, shoot. You know what? That's on the ground. We actually have a confirmed tornado on the ground. That is actually on the ground right now. We do have a tornado on the ground in southern Indiana. Believe it or not, in a less than what? Put it in chat, folks. Less than what? We have a tornado on the ground in a less than what? We actually have a tornado on the ground right now. That is on the ground right now as we speak. So, yeah, if we go to correlation coefficient, you can see the CC drop right there. That is correlated with high reflectivity. Actually, here it is. Yeah, there's your CC drop. Right here, here's your CC drop. Here's Princeton, southeast of Princeton. That's where we have a small, probably a cone tornado. And that is correlated with high reflectivity values, okay? High reflectivity, there's your rotation, there is your CC drop. So there is a tornado on the ground. And there it is. Got confirmed. Got confirmed right now. Called it. I called that son of a gun. So we got one tornado today. Wait! Oh, the SPC put it less than 2% area, though. Why are we... That's a guidance. That's model guidance. Things change. Things actually change. So let me see the dew points in that area, though. Your dew points, though, are in the upper mid-40s. So that's probably either a gustnado or it could be a cone tornado of some sort. Storm does not look very supercellular, so it could be a gustnado more than anything. So if you're in Mackay, if you're in Buckskin, Somerville, please take shelter right now. There is a tornado on the ground right now. There's a tornado on the ground, and boy, radar is freaking out. Look how radar is behaving. Radar is not behaving so well. Yeah, it is acting funny, but there's your rotation right there. There's your rotation on the ground. That is actually pretty decent rotation if you think about it. It looks like it is still on the ground right now. So, Somerville, please take shelter right now. I know, right? Not even in the 2%. Well, not even. There's no 2% today. There is no 2%. You can see southern Indiana, there's a 5% for wind and hail today. But look at your tornado risk. You tell me that, I mean, they could have literally kept the 2%. This is, I think, where it was pretty much located. Actually, it was down to the south. So even in this area, it was not favorable for tornadoes this whole time. And yet, we have a tornado on the ground. That goes to show you that any severe weather event, plain on, just put this in the back of your mind. I'm under a marginal. I'm going to see a tornado today. That's basically where we stand at this time. You know, if you're in a severe risk, you have a risk of anything. All right? You have a risk of anything. And you saw what just happened. We had our first confirmed tornado warning right now. Our first confirmed tornado warning on this stream. And probably the only live streamer that's getting this out to a lot of you. Yeah, there is the tornado right here. See the velocity, folks? This is the dual pool system, so you can see where we have some rotation. That is where we suspect that there is a tornado that is on the ground right now to the west of Francisco in Indiana. And there's your tornado report. All right. And we just got wind damage. Or no, wait, tornado damage to the northeast of Princeton. This is from a trained weather spotter. Just came in. Spotter reports of a tornado with trees down and 2 roofs off of a building. Yeah, so definitely some damage with that tornado. So, hey, that's one tornado report added to the list of tornado reports so far this season. So, if you're in Princeton right now, you got some damage. And actually, you know what? I'm going to look on Twitter because I'm very curious if we actually did get damage pictures in that area. No, we did not. No report yet. Ah, look at this. This is going crazy right now. All over Twitter. All over Twitter, we have a... Actually... Oh, no, this is not... That wasn't recently. So no pictures yet coming in on that tornado just now. But we will bring you those once those come in. Doesn't look like it's on the ground anymore. No, it's not. So it's probably a brief funnel. Actually, a tornado in this case. Brief tornado, lifted up. It lifted up. But it doesn't matter. We have now gotten our tornado on our tornado report and documented a tornado on our live stream. Hey, that's why, and you know, I want to let you all know about this too. Look at our dew points. Let me ask you this. Is our dew points in the 60s or 70s? No. Is our dew points in the upper to mid 40s? Yes, they are. Yeah, I thought you can get a tornado with dew points. I thought it's possible, or it's impossible to get a tornado with dew points below 50 degrees. I guess not. That's not possible. So the fact that we got a tornado with a dew point in the mid 40s is pretty ironic, and it leads me to believe it probably was a strong land spout. Is probably a land spout, maybe a very strong land spout. Well, it took a couple of roofs off of off of buildings, so it's probably I would say probably an EF0 tornado at least, but still. Still that's a tornado. In a 1% risk of tornadoes. Technically 1%. That's why, honestly, even so there is a 2%, there's a less than 2% risk for tornadoes. And again, you're learning from me on this. Always assume you're going to get at least one tornado somewhere in a marginal risk of severe weather. We see it in California. Remember our last marginal risk that we had in California? We all remember that, right? Guess what? We got a tornado warning. And I think we did get a confirmed tornado warning out of that. So you got to always assume if there's a risk, there's always a chance you see or encounter a tornado in your area. All right? Always assume that. That's why I'm live streaming, because I thought, I don't think we're getting away with not a tornado today. I think we're going to get at least one tornado out of this. And indeed, unfortunately, I willy washed the truth about me being correct on that. So, once again, let's go back up here again. Let's bring up that warning box really quickly. This is it. Right now. So, if you are in the Oakland City, really only one location in the immediate threat with this. Somerville, Mackay, also. Yeah, there it is. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm include Somerville, Mackay, and Francisco. This includes Interstate 69 in Indiana between mile markers 24 and 35. And again, radar indicated now, but boy, it was on the ground. It was actually on the ground. We documented that. There was a debris ball in Princeton. And I'll tell you, if that was all that the debris got lofted into the air by that tornado, Doppler radar did a pretty darn good job at picking that up. It really did. I'm sure there was more than just two roofs being torn off of buildings, But yeah, that is what you get of being in a non-zero chance of tornadoes. Now, Princeton was struck by a tornado in 1925. Wow, 100 years. Thank you for the history there, Car Wash Freak 97. 100 years since the last time I believe Princeton got hit by a tornado. That is a century right there. Once in a lifetime. Well, at least, unless you never leave Princeton. And the tornado warning has been dropped. So we have no tornado warnings at this moment. And we're back to square one, square root 5, where we are going to keep an eye on our storms. And right now, we have some good winds going on. And that house is lonely. Look at that house. Man, look at that lightning, though. Definitely some active weather. Definitely some active. By the way, if you all are enjoying the coverage, you find this live stream very helpful with the information that we're providing you here live right now, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also leave a chat with us. And also be sure to check out our Weather Force Discord server. There is a link pinned to the chat if you are interested. Right now, I am going to be approving someone. So this is what I'm going to see. You're 17. You are good at what you do. Yeah, looks like there's no issue here. I like to hear about severe weather. So I'm going to approve you. So if you all are interested in joining the server, there it is. You can join today. The link is pinned to the chat. But in the meantime, we're going to be live here for another 5 or so minutes because I actually have to get going. I have to meet with someone today. Yes, I have to meet with someone. I hope it was not going to happen, but unfortunately, it has to happen today. So, Bionica Hand, how are you doing? So Brownsville, Jackson, Covington about to get hit here with some good severe weather. Let's see if there's any rotation on these storms, and there is not. If anything, there might be some rotation right here. Doesn't surprise me. They're not going to put a tornado warning out on this, probably. There is increasing rotation. I don't be surprised if they do put a tornado warning out in that area of Tennessee. In the Cocoa, Moreton Hill area, Prospect, Hillville area. See what they do with that. That's more than likely elevated, though. But gosh, if they can pull one in Indiana, they can pull one off in in Tennessee. So yeah. We're going to be watching this. We're going to be watching this closely. And we got a good fleet of severe weather warnings going on right now in eastern Tennessee. Now moving into northern Georgia. Storms have really picked up this afternoon. And again, it's that elevated nature of storms that we're seeing. Man, doesn't this look pretty? I love the hills in the background. I really like those hills. Rolling hills. That's why I would love to live in Georgia. I would not mind living in Georgia or in, like, the backcountry here of Tennessee, like in the Appalachians. I can just see myself having a house there. Just beautiful. Just a beautiful place. Knoxville, Tennessee. Getting some storms right now. About to get some storms there. But yeah, really, back here to the west is where we have the good shot of some storms. But cold pooling is a thing with these storm cells. We're seeing a lot of cold pooling. And that tells us that for one thing, any discrete storm we do try to see might rotate briefly and then just not do much. Not going to do much. But if you're in Jackson, if you're in Brownsville, if you're in Henning, please take shelter right now. That's where we do have these severe weather warnings. Man, I lost count of warnings right now, but I'm sure we are up to at least 15 warnings so far. Boy, we have 91 people in the chat right now. If you guys are liking the coverage, please give this a like. Please give this a huge thumbs up. We have 96 people in the chat now, so thank you guys for sharing this with your family and friends on social media. But yeah, this is a group of storms we're going to need to watch. But I just don't understand it. The same area is getting hit here. In Tennessee with more storms, even in the eastern Tennessee, getting more storms this go around. I guess nature just likes the Ozarks this year. I guess that's just how it works. Yeah, this area has been taking a huge beating. And some of the rivers are still at major flood stage right now. Just terrible. And you know what I had a dream of last night that relates to that? Is I had this weird dream that I was near the Mississippi River. I don't know where it was exactly, but I was along the Mississippi River, and there were surfing waves, like ocean waves, like huge, like 20 to 30 foot ocean waves. And I'm like, how are there very large waves of this magnitude inside the Mississippi River? How's that even possible, right? And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to take my drone up. I'm going to fly my drone up because in my dream I had a drone, I guess, right? So I brought my drone up and I'm like, oh, that's all it was. It's just the Mississippi River generating large waves. And I remember I was with my family in my dream, and I think, Titan, you were in my dream, and you were telling me, David, back away. There's a big wave that's going to hit the side here, hit the side of the wall, and it's going to spray up and knock you over. And I'm like, and I was running for safety. I was running away for safety. And all of a sudden, this wave came up, and it was just like, it flooded the streets and stuff, and then the water slowly receded and went back out. I'm like, this is like a waterfall, like Niagara Falls. The water is actually pouring back out into the Mississippi River. And I'm like, how are you able it was the weirdest dream. Surfing oceanic waves inside the Mississippi River. What's up, Doug? What's up, Vincent? How are you guys doing? But yeah, Jackson, Tennessee right now getting some good weather. Look at this. You can even see the hail or the rain coming down. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool to see that on camera. But man, after having that dream, I want to create my own lake and make a wave machine. Just like make surfing waves, oceanic waves. That would be really cool. Wow, we have almost 100 likes, folks. Come on, we can do it. Hit that like button. Gust to 90. Wow. We have a gust up to 90. What the heck? Let me go to the storm report page on the Storm Prediction Center. We did not get a 90-mile-an-hour wind gust. Or did we? Did we? No, we didn't. No 90-mile-an-hour wind gust. Speaking of 90, well, it's not 90 here, but it's 80 degrees today. Ugh. Yeah, it's time for summertime. And you know what's very funny is that even so, it's 80.5 outside. My room is 84 degrees, and it's because of the sun angle. I discovered that if we have a higher sun angle, it hits the roof, and it really warms up my office a lot more efficiently. Timothy, first member, thank you for becoming a Tropical Storm tier on the channel. I do appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a member. And I decided that my Saturday night, Friday night lives, or whatever you want to call it. I'm probably going to do Friday night lives because Saturday nights, it's a church night for me, so I need to get some sleep. So I'll probably move those to Friday night, depending on work schedule and stuff. But going to continue doing those sessions once a week, but it's going to be moved over to members only. Okay. So if you are not a member of the channel yet, I would highly recommend doing so because it's more related to hanging out, playing games and stuff, interacting with you guys, and we'd like to make it a bit more private and make it for members only instead of just having the whole public to watch it. So, and it would add a little bit of a piece of content to the channel as well. So if you guys are interested in becoming a member on the David Schlotthauer channel, I would highly recommend doing so. Otherwise, you can join the Discord server for free. There's no cost whatsoever. There's a link pinned to the chat. We just hit 100 likes. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. 101. Any severe weather happening in Missouri right now? No severe weather. No severe weather. It's all in Tennessee. All in Tennessee right now is where we are seeing the majority of the severe weather at the very moment. And this is the lowest in severe thunderstorm warning you can get. Barely a warning with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and less than quarter-size hail. And up here in Indiana, that's where we had our tornado in Princeton. Looks like that's kind of bowing out right now. But yeah, we can get brief spin-ups within this boundary. Timothy, anything for tonight? So you are, I'm guessing you're probably in Alabama, Georgia, or Mississippi. If you're in Georgia, you're going to get storms tonight in the next 2 to 4 hours. You're going to start getting things jumping up there. But if you're in Alabama, it's going to be about the same time. Actually, you're getting storms already in portions of northern Alabama. Somewhat discrete storms. But the good thing about these storms is the echo tops are not very high. Our echo tops... Thank you, yep. Echo tops, 40,000 feet. So our echo tops are not very high with a lot of these, mainly right around 25 to 30,000 feet, which is shallow topped. We're not seeing very explosive deep convection. We're not seeing 60,000 foot echo tops or 70,000 foot. Remember what we had last week? We had very explosive thunderstorm development. Looks like we just got a new camera that just started streaming to the Radar Omega site. I am trying to get a live camera on the Radar Omega site on where I live. Kentucky, my bad. Okay. You're in Kentucky. So if you're in central Kentucky, if you get anything, yeah, more than likely you will. It's going to be in the next 2 to 4 hours. But all you're going to see is mainly some damaging winds and some large hail is really all you're going to see. New severe thunderstorm considerable. Oh, gosh. Titan, you're ahead of the schedule. You know what, Titan? Are you able to help me live stream? You are very active and you are on top of literally everything. Wow, they took away the tornado report. Really? That was not a tornado report. Interesting. The one in Princeton? Possible tornado damage. No, there was a tornado on the ground. That was tornado damage. That was not thunderstorm wind damage. But yeah. I'm going to try to stretch this to the 2-hour mark. Then I actually have to head off. But yeah. I have school, so it depends. That's fine. If it's on the weekend, though, you can probably pull it off. Because, boy, you are on top of things when it comes to warnings, meso discussions, watches. And speaking of meso discussion, we do have a new meso discussion out for Eastern Tennessee, Northern Georgia. And watch is likely in this area. There's an 80% chance. So scattered storms, a few of which may be severe, are likely to affect parts of the northern Georgia and eastern Tennessee and possibly into the far western Carolinas by the early evening. Storms continue to increase across Tennessee beneath the cooler mid-level temperatures. Meanwhile, a mid-level cloud band has moved out of this region, allowing heating behind. Given this expected destabilization via heating and advection out of the west, cells moving into this region are expected to remain strong or severe, producing hail and localized wind gusts. The greatest risk of damaging hail will be over southern areas, including northern Georgia, where temperatures have warmed substantially and lapse rates are quite steep. So this is where we have really steep lapse rates. And the risk here is mainly 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, possibly up to 75, and maybe up to 2-inch hailstones. Where that meso discussion actually is. So that's really the extent of that right now. Oh, nice, Titan. That makes sense. So, do you guys have any questions? If you have not liked the stream yet, please hit the like button. We're up to 105 likes, folks. Let's hit the like button. Also, be sure to check out I'm sorry if I promote too much. I am terribly sorry if I do. But that's part of video branding, right? If you want to check out my TikTok page, okay, TikTok, here it is. 306 followers right now. So if you all want to check that out, you are more than happy to. Man, my video has almost 4,000 views. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out, be sure to do so. There is a link in the description leading to my TikTok page if you all are interested in following me there. Haven't done much today. That's because there's really not a lot going on. There really isn't. If the SPC did go enhanced, then I would probably have something out on my TikTok page, but they haven't. So, another considerable warning. Jeez. So if you all want to check that out, there is a link in the description of this live stream. Yesterday, I had 230 followers, and now I'm at 306. So, boy, my TikTok is growing awfully fast. At least 60 to 80 members, or why do I see members? 60 to 80 followers a day. Yes, we do. Beneath Cave Spider 2, yeah. That is tornado damage. That is tornado damage for sure. Roof shingles and roofs torn off, yeah, that's tornado damage. Also, if you want to just simply subscribe to the YouTube channel here, you are more than happy to. It's free. There's no cost whatsoever. Everything's free. But once I create merch for the channel, not going to be free. That's not going to be free. That will cost a little bit. So, yeah. Well, it is 2:30. Well, actually, I will pull this into another minute because it's 1 hour and 58 minutes right now. So another 60 seconds. But yeah, there's our considerable warning. Let's check that one out really quickly before we call this. Yeah, so there's a considerable warning. What is this warranted for? 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So I am really surprised they did not pull a 15 sig at least for damaging winds today because of that. We have had 3 considerable warnings today due to strong winds. Later on today, yes, cheesy weather. I have to meet with someone after this, so I am not going to be able to be on Discord. Actually, I might be able to on my mobile phone, for a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate the support, but I am going to have to head off, and I will be back tomorrow with more weather content, either on my TikTok page or YouTube. That's why I encourage you all to please check out my TikTok page, because I'm really going to start amping that up. I'm going to listen to with what you guys want me to do. A lot of you said, have you considered doing TikTok? I'm going to start doing TikTok. So, and that's what I've been doing. 2 videos. All right. But anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, either on TikTok or YouTube. Peace out.